Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to this episode of A Podcast Within a Podcast, our Fated Friends series. Tonight we are going to talk about our postpartum identities and who we are now that we're mothers, right? What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Let's do it.
New Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, a year. Let's talk about transformation and things that are to come and where we're headed and what we want. This episode comes in between Iron Flame and Onyx Storm because you are still reading and I just finished and I'm very tempted to do an immediate reread so that I can organize all those thoughts in my head.
Oh my God, when did you finish?
Tuesday. So it took I tried to, in terms of taking my time, I took like a full week to read the book. Yeah.
No, like last night Dave was like, oh, go to bed and I'm going to go out. So you should read your book or something. And I cleaned the kitchen and took a shower and did all this stuff. And I was like, yes, I'm going to read my book. And then I fell asleep immediately because I was just so cozy and happy.
Yeah.
And then, like I told you, I'm on page 10 or something.
It's fine. It's fine. So, I thought, we were going through our list of ideas that you and I had both come up with for Fated Friend episode ideas. And what do you want to start with? Postpartum thoughts? Or, it's only February 2nd. Do you want to dive into the 2025 a little bit?
I love having intentions for the new year. And and I also wanted to ask you because you had come over and we talked about what our words were for the year, and yours was joy. Yeah, and I loved that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know how you were manifesting that, how you were incorporating all of that, because that's I think that's such a nice fun word for the year.
Yeah, I think it felt fitting for me because the year before was healing from postpartum depression, and then the year before that was the postpartum depression itself. So,
it was your first year with Bo, right?
Yeah. So 2023, my year was ease. That is all I sought to just kind of get me through the hardest part of it. And then 2024 was curiosity, because I wanted to see what life was like on the other side. I had made it. I felt like I survived, and there was just more to be discovered. And so this year, joy is my attempt to enjoy what I, have learned so far and will continue to learn. And I was inspired by my children right now in this phase that they're in. They're just so easily able to tap into their joy. It's amazing. And I tend to be a more serious person, the way that I carry myself. So I would love to be able to just laugh more easily and find humor in things more easily. Plus, joy is just the ultimate, icebreaker to tension or grumpiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, when you say that about your kids, I feel the same way because childlike wonder.
Yes.
It's something that I can't believe how easily I forgot.
Yes.
And how sweet it is that, you could be walking down the street and there's puddles or whatever. And it's I'm feeling it's super cold and I just want to get from point A to point B and let's zip up our coats and get there. And my kid is I'm going to take the longest way so I can walk around this stick, and then I want to jump in that puddle, and then I want to look at that house and that dog, and
They're so in the present moment.
Exactly. And I need to lean into that and experience that with them and take the time because they're in a couple of years, it's not going to be like that.
No, they'll get jaded and crusty like the rest of us.
Exactly.
I hope not. But
that's what life is all about.
Yeah, you're right. And so your oldest is 3, and Andrew and I found when our oldest was 3, he developed what we would call his wonder voice. So he would say oh, Mommy, it's snowing. Oh my gosh, look. And it was so genuine, and real. And he was experiencing this wonder for the first time over and over and over again, and it was really lovely. So I think maybe that's where your little one is at, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. We made a bird feeder tonight or
Uh-huh.
today, and
Yeah.
she just kept running to the window to see if the birds had found it yet. It
Yeah.
was so cute.
Aw.
Just everything is so cute.
Yes.
This is why it was like hard to go back to work, because it's like, no, this is what life is about.
Yes.
Waiting for the birds to come.
That's right.
I don't want to sit at a computer.
Let's slow down and, focus on the present moment. But
So yeah, how is that? How is Joy going for you? You're a month in.
dang it, it's hard.
Yeah, I know.
It is so
It's
hard.
0 degrees here.
Yeah, it's hard to find joy sometimes. Or like I can I can observe myself being like, this, Veronica, is an opportunity to
Yeah.
melt a little and lean into the joy, try to find the joy. And it's so hard. It's so hard when I'm have wired myself to not choose that path. And then it's easy to get frustrated, but I just started seeing a new therapist, and I think she'll help.
When you don't experience joy, when you feel like you should be, it kind of stresses you out and makes you feel like you'll never experience joy. Or
right.
Yeah.
Or like, what's wrong with me?
Right. You've blocked yourself to it.
Yeah.
But I think it's an exercise and a practice.
Yeah.
And this is like day 30 or
right.
something. So
yeah, just like generosity or compassion or empathy, like it just takes practice.
Yeah. And then it just gets better and better.
Yeah. And easier.
Yeah. Like every day.
Yes. And, to that point, I'm also kind of a perfectionist. So it's like, well, if this is what I should be doing, then I should be feeling it all of the time. And when I'm not, then I'm failing, and that's sort of that all or nothing kind of black and white thinking that I can fall into. And it's like, no, this is a spectrum. Like sometimes I will feel the full and beautiful weight of joy. And sometimes it'll be like a tiny bit of amusement, and sometimes there won't be any, but none of that means that it's wrong. And I think hopefully, this is my thought, that in allowing myself to experience more joy, I can release a lot of my own judgment. I feel like joy comes from a lot of silliness, and it's hard for adults to be silly with other adults. It's easy to be silly with a child because they're naturally silly and they're naturally joyful. But it's hard to be joyful among adults who are also taking themselves too seriously, or use humor in ways, in my opinion, that can be not the type of humor that builds people up, but actually kind of takes them down. Oh, what's funny is to point out like how something is weird or how you do something strange, or,
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, why do you do it that way? Haha. And that is a put down in the lightest term. And so, but mostly like I have a hard time faking it. I can't, it's really hard. So I was like, Emma, you know what? I have seen Emma in situations where she's like smiling and calm and seems to be really engaged. So I'm going to get her opinion on what she's doing.
Well, no, I really do think it is like a practice, because I am a recruiter. So I have gone like tons of parts of my career have been like going to really weird networking events where I may be even running the networking event.
Okay.
And when I was working at one of the tech companies, I would do these like monthly and just have to hang out all night with a lot of randos
and make the most of it.
Yeah, make the most of it. Make everyone feel like we're at a fun party. This is the best time. Glad you're here. Come back again next month. Good to see you again.
But you mean it.
Yeah. And but yeah, it is just like a lot of smiling and keeping calm, and that's, I guess, how I would do it.
Right.
If something was feeling awkward.
Right.
Just smile.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Smile
it.
through it.
It's such a good point, because like I'm thinking of, even, this is like a very small example and probably not the best one, but earlier today we met at a very fun but very overstimulating child play space. Yeah. And I was like standing next to you at this bouncy house, and I was like, Veronica, Emma is your friend. Like, why are you feeling weird right now? And I
Did
realized,
you like not know what to say?
yes.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like going through the list because it's like, well, because we were going to be interrupted at
A million
any
times.
second.
Yes.
So it's like, what am I really going to say? Because I want to like talk to you.
Yes.
And like we when we hang out,
yeah,
we talk for hours
Yes.
and record it.
Yes.
So.
And we also, when we're not recording,
Yeah.
we just talk. And like even before this whole podcast.
And we get like deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then just like having like small talk.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like you cannot have deep and meaningful, deep eye contact conversation next to a bouncy house.
I had like no idea what to say to Andrew. And then your other friends were there who I've met. And I wanted to be like, hi, we've met. But it's like, you are about to get interrupted
a million times.
Any second. So yeah, I didn't want to like start something and be like, okay, bye.
or like, you're pouring your heart out and I just walk away.
Because you have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, I had to also reconcile the fact that all of us know that about each other. Like, I'm not going to take it personally if you just straight up walk away while I'm in the middle of a sentence because your child is pulling you.
Yeah.
Or like that, we're just standing next to each other because we both know, like, this is actually a moment of reprieve. Like, we can...
No, there's like comfort in that, just like standing next to someone you know.
It's companionable, yes.
Yeah, I'm very tired in this moment, so.
Yes. So let's, I just want to put it out there, like, we can just stand next to each other.
In silence.
In silence. And I don't want you to feel any pressure to have to bring anything up with me. And I promise I will work on feeling the same way.
That's why it's like, if we're talking about like postpartum stuff too, because we're going to go into that.
Yeah, well, segue.
But it's like, that's what your life becomes. Because all the hangouts you used to have, like, oh my gosh, I was telling Dave, like, oh, this afternoon, you should go to go see your friends, like go to a brewery, hang out. And I was like, 1 to 4 could be like a good time for that.
Right.
And that's like a chunk of time.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, like before kids, that all weekend long was chunks of huge time
just
where we
time.
could do whatever we wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like even today, after we came home from the play area, I kept telling Andrew, like, go do something for yourself. Like, you don't have to leave the house, but like, stop lingering around, like, this is your opportunity. This is all we have. And he's like, I don't know how. Like, I don't know how to leave this space extracting, right? He can't extract himself. And I was like, well, okay, then I'm just telling you right now that's on you because I could go upstairs and just lay in bed and enjoy it. But I don't want to do that because I feel like I know that I can and I will, and I don't want to take advantage of you and I want you to learn how. And he's like, I know. So we're, the first step is in having a conversation about it.
It's like I was telling Dave because I'm like Andrew and like I can't relax and I can't just go upstairs and chill and be fine with it. And I was telling him like I need you to help me do that. Like I am physically unable, like emotionally unable to do these things. And I forget what it was about. It wasn't about taking like a self-care moment. It was something about like the morning time, like doing the goodbye before school or it was something where I was like, I'm doing this wrong and I know I'm doing this like not the way that we agreed on. And I just like need you to help me. Like just take over. Just step all over me if you need to in this moment because I'm unable to complete it. So I don't know if maybe Andrew needs that. Like
for sure.
You to like shove him upstairs.
Yes. I think also when the weather is nicer, it'll be easier for me to just
take the boys.
Take them away.
Yeah.
Granted, he'll probably just follow us.
Right.
But that's fine.
Of course.
Right. And that is what it is. But it's all, I mean, it's all related in the sense that we're all just trying to figure it out. Which doesn't sound like a clean segue, but what have you thought of your word for 2025?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking about, so mine was confidence.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm going into a new job after spending 8 months at home with baby, having the best time of my life.
Yeah.
And I am at a point in my career where I want to be seen. And not a manager, but I want to be seen like a little bit more senior and because I am, and that's my title and I should do that. And then just like in all areas of my life, being like a more confident mom, being more confident in everything. But I do think it is a practice. Like I can't just go out and be like, today I'm going to be the most confident and I'm going to show up to this meeting and like run the show and be amazing. Like I have to do little things that are going to build my confidence, like even in like the smallest moments.
Do you know what those are? I'm asking as someone who struggles with confidence as well. So what are those things?
Okay, so I'm doing things that I know bring me confidence, or I have a plan to do them.
Yeah.
So I feel like I always like my life more when I'm running a lot.
Right.
So I signed up for a half marathon. So
That's
I did do that.
That's right.
Which I'm really excited about. And I have 2 friends who have also signed up for this half marathon, and it's in Maine. So that's going to be great. And it's in October.
Awesome.
And it's February.
Perfect.
So,
you have plenty of time.
I have plenty of time. And that means I'm going to turn my whole life where I haven't done this yet, but I am going to start training for this. And that means running multiple days a week, having like a structured plan of adding mileage. And I'd also like to do better at this half marathon than I have in previous ones. And I'm like not a great runner. Like I do it for the vibes and the experience. I've never broken 2 hours on a half marathon. So that's like, what is that? Like 8 or no, it's definitely not 8. It's like 9 to 10 minute miles.
Okay.
So nothing fancy, outstanding. I'm not
to
like
me,
a pro
it's
runner.
fancy because if I'm running, you should run too. I don't run. Like danger is upon us if I'm running. So
you're like a pro dancer.
Oh, girl. No, but I fully believe that you can achieve that goal. Just in the way that I've seen you take this podcast, my little idea from a dream to a reality, you can absolutely get those running goals down.
Yeah. So I hope so. And I've done it before. I did it the year after Mackenzie was born. I did like a mountain half marathon, which was exciting.
Wow. Okay.
So sorry to be like rambling about running.
No, you're not rambling. Well, so that just makes me wonder, like, it sounds like if you can create some sort of structure around building running into your life, you find that in and of itself allows you to be more confident in other spaces in your life.
Yeah, it sets me all up to like every single day.
Okay.
I'm mentally feeling better because like I've got my run in.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing something where I'm getting incrementally better every day.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yes.
And I'm working towards a goal to like keep me on track. So if I'm doing that on the side, then hopefully that falls into, I start feeling that kind of like positive energy into like work where like, I mean, I feel like I'm good at my job, but like I'm new. So I'm trying to get there.
Okay. I love that. And is there anything that you do within the workspace or within the environment or context that you want to be more confident in?
So I have to do a lot of travel where I work remotely in my house and it's very chill and I wear my, sweatpants and it's so nice. And then I have to go out to headquarters frequently coming up. And then there's like a couple of like these networking events I have to go to.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that in a really long time.
Wow.
So I have to get dressed up and
you should reach out to Emily because she's got so many awesome work events.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I know. Emily's the best. That's why I texted the group chat today about a red light mask.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at my face since the last time I did one of these.
You're beautiful.
I feel like turning into 38, you can see. Yeah. You can see the 38 on this face. But yeah, so I think my plan is doing like really vain things, but I think I'm going to get a blowout before I travel the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I what is that? Like $50, $100? Like,
if that.
Yeah. It's going to make that whole thing a little bit better. Yeah, I'm like thinking more about like we were just talking about like postpartum outfits and clothes.
Yes.
And like I have to like lead into that because a lot of my stuff is like pre-baby where I'm like, oh, skinny jeans still cool?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Oh my gosh. See, but this is a fun project. And were you the one telling me that your neighbor wanted to do like a full closet rehaul? It was
No, who was it?
Somebody, a different Emily. Her neighbor is like very into curating kind of where you're at in the moment, how you feel, and therefore what you look like or how you put yourself together.
Yes.
So I think this is a nice tidy segue here. And I'm naming it just to do it so that we do it. But it is very hard to figure out who you are, what you like, and what you want to look like once you become a mom. Because I don't think there's anything in this world that splits your time and attention away from yourself the way motherhood does, or perhaps parenthood. But I don't think men are as deeply conditioned to care or to feel strongly about how they look, right? Women are just, it's like in our deep in the marrow of our bones. So first of all, I don't think that it's vain that you're going to get a blowout or that your focus is going to be how you look, because how you look is going to represent how you feel. I'm still navigating it, and I'm 2+ years postpartum for my second baby. I don't know what I want to look like. I don't know how I want to dress myself, or I do, and I try things out, but it just...
No, that was like, so my word is confidence,
Yeah.
but like part of it was be hotter.
Yeah.
Like that was just part of it. Yeah. And it's like, that's like kind of a fun thing to work on all year. Yeah, it's like shop for myself, get treatments, do our spa time, self-care. Yeah. So, and like, I think we deserve it.
Yeah.
We've done a lot for other people the last couple of years.
Many things.
And like, it's fun to feel like yourself again, like when you were in like your early 30s or 20s, where things were just so much easier.
Yes.
And we talked about like something fun to do in an afternoon, like trying to like have an idea of what you would, if you did have an afternoon to yourself, what would you do? And one of them is like play dress up in your closet.
Yes.
Because you'd never have time for that anymore.
Yes. Like take inventory.
Yes.
For one afternoon. What the heck do I even need? And then another afternoon, I'm going to go out and shop. Like when I went to Seattle a couple weekends ago, I went and had an afternoon with my best friend Liz.
Oh my God, did you guys go shopping in Seattle?
We went shopping.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
And can I tell you though, it was very jarring because I had done like a full like 15 months of no shopping at all.
Oh yeah, you did that challenge.
Yes.
Good for you.
And that was great. And I love how I think and feel about buying things now. But like Liz has not done that. She hasn't needed to because it hasn't been a problem. And
wait, does Liz have kids?
She has one.
Okay.
Yeah, he just turned one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she's postpartum too.
She's postpartum too. And something for you to consider would be like Rent the Runway or Newly, like a subscription to Play first and figure out what you like and what you're drawn to.
Yeah.
Like, what are you drawn to visually? Then do you try it on? Then does it actually fit your vision? And if it doesn't, then you can pivot versus like buying all this stuff, trying it, wearing it, and then being like, I'm never going to wear this again. It doesn't work for me.
Have you ever like gotten your colors read?
That's what I want to do. That's what Liz and I were talking about.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I agree. I want to do that too. Yeah. I keep seeing it like on Instagram. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
And
my cousins did it.
Okay.
And they loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's all I got. I want to do it. And then I was looking at like celebrities who I feel like have the same coloring as me. And like Kate Middleton, and she's a cool summer. And so Kate Middleton would not wear beige as a cool summer. Like 90% of my closet is beige.
It is very easy to just lean on neutrals.
Yeah.
Because they are in and of themselves called neutrals. So you think then this will look, fine. But yeah,
but no, it like washes you out and ruins you, apparently, according to the color reading.
If you are a cool summer, no more beige.
Yeah. So I was telling Dave, because he was like, I was telling him I wanted it. And it is like, a $300 to $500. I have looked it up.
That's a big investment.
Because I would like to get it for like my sister or something, and I don't want to get it for you, but it's like, yeah, this is like kind of a lot, and it's getting draped with different colored fabric, and either you're doing this like in person or you're sending pictures to somebody.
I wouldn't want to do it virtually.
Right. I feel like you would lose it. And then they say, yes, that looks good. No, that doesn't. And they can tell you everything about like makeup and hair color and like whatever, all it is.
Okay.
And Dave was like, I will do this for you.
I will hold up a color wheel and tell you which one you look the brightest in.
We're not paying $300 to $500 for this service.
This means a lot to me. No, but I mean, so just a few months ago, I bought a red sweater.
I think you look great in red.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I bought a red puffer coat and a red
hat.
hat.
I love that red puffer
Thank
coat.
You.
Yeah.
Target.
Oh my God.
Swamp.
No way.
Yes. And I was like, why have I never ever considered red? Probably because it's bold. Probably because it stands out. Probably because it's a color for a confident person. And like it was one of the impeti to get figured out, like, what do I look good in and what do I like? And what do I envision for myself versus what really actually looks good and feels good?
What can you outsource? Like, what decision making can you outsource in this journey?
Right.
And if you do have a journey of, I would like to fix my closet.
Yep.
But it's like too overwhelming to, it'd be like, now I am a stylist all of a sudden.
Oh my God.
Like today, well, I have time to go shopping.
I know.
In this season.
Now I realize like why it has become so popular for like so many of these specialties to just be a service people pay for. House cleaning, house organizing, closet organizing, styling. Like, we just don't have time. Why? Why don't we have time? Why are we busier than the generations that came before us?
Well, it's like, how do you value your time?
Right.
And
that's a good point.
Do you want to be spending the time that you have doing your closet, or do you want to be hanging with your kids or Andrew or doing anything else? Like...
Yeah. There is so much technical ease out there that it just makes it feel almost inconsequential to put that time there. But I feel like it brings joy to put that time there.
Well, then I agree with that because last time I think you were about to leave and we were talking about like laundry and like doing like sending your laundry out or something, and you liked that, but I like love doing laundry actually. Like,
do you?
Oh my God, yes. I love the whole thing. I love the sound of my washing machine going. Like, it brings me so much peace. And then I like folding it and like listening to like an podcast or like whatever, and just folding my laundry and putting it all away. And when I have sent my laundry out before, like you said, you had ideas for this, but like mine came back smelling not so great. Like, I love my own, like, everything.
Yes, your detergent and your softener.
Yeah, like as a practice, like I just really like doing laundry. There are other things that I don't like. I don't like mopping. So like I do like house cleaners, but I don't like sending my laundry out. So like I think you get to pick and choose kind of like how you want to.
Yeah, we all have our preferences, and when we have so much bidding for our time and attention, there's only so much you can do to do what you can and delegate the rest.
Yeah. And then it's like being okay with delegating.
That's like a common theme I feel in motherhood is like, ask for help, learn how to ask for help, learn how to accept help. And
really hard.
Really hard. I mean, that was one of the biggest lessons, I think, as part of my whole curiosity year. I remember one time, Andrew's aunt, I texted her and I asked for help, which was like a really big thing for me to say, like, here's how we're struggling. Are you able to do something? And she responded and she said yes.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
So nice. It is like second nature. I responded, are you sure? And she said, I wouldn't have said yes if I wasn't sure. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, this is really silly of me to ask for your help and then question you once you agree to it.
Mhm.
And it's also, I think, a piece of confidence to be like, I trust that when I ask for help and someone steps up, that they mean it. And I trust that they're doing it because they can and want to, and there's no catch. It's really hard not to feel like, okay, now I owe you not
Right.
just the whatever you help me with, but I should also do more.
Yeah.
I think, do you struggle with that?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I still think of when you came over and you brought Lucy and you watched the boys for an hour so that Andrew and I could go and have our therapy session. And I was like, okay, how do I pay Emma back? What do I do? What do I do?
No.
And you were
Yeah.
like, no, that's not it. No, don't worry about it. And it felt so uncomfortable for me to be like,
Oh.
okay.
No, I hate that.
know?
That like,
No,
yeah.
not for you, but for me, it was like a big lesson of like, this is what it feels like to accept help.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah, especially something like that was so low.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if it was like, take my boys for a week,
Oh my God.
I would maybe want a little,
Yeah.
a little something back. But
Oh my God.
to come over for an hour and
Right.
play in your very clean playroom with Bo and Julian
Yeah.
and have Lucy be like, boys to look at?
What is this?
New
Yeah.
toys?
Yeah.
Like you set up a whole baby station
Yeah.
for her? Like
Yes. When I ask for help, I try to make it as easy as possible or facilitate as much ease as can be made. But yeah, it's all an exercise. And I think it's all tied together. To have confidence is to trust in so many sources. Trust yourself, trust the people around you, trust the situation, trust the timing. Confidence, right? And that leads to joy. When I'm a super confident person, it's really easy for me to laugh, and it's really easy for me to find humor, and it's really easy to see the best in things because I feel good about myself. Like, these are all clearly obvious things, but it is very hard to live in real time. Not to get like crazy woo-woo on you, but at the book club that I am a part of, in October, the woman who was hosting, she had a woman come who she does like card readings.
Ooh.
Or Akashic readings.
Oh, what's that? I've never heard of that.
An Akashic reading is a reading of the soul. So it's this theory that...
Is that like old souls?
Kind of.
Okay.
So it's this theory that all human beings, all things really, all living things have a soul. And every life cycle that a soul experiences on this earth has an intention that comes with it. The soul wants to learn something that it didn't learn before, or recover something, or whatever. It has a purpose. And I thought it was like, oh, she'll tell me about my past lives and who I was and all that stuff. No, I was wrong. It's like this theory that your soul is searching for some sort of purpose in this lifetime that you're in, but your soul is guided by these beings that hold your soul's records. Like, it's kind of interesting. This is, I hope I'm not losing you. But this woman was like, I think you have bigger questions to ask.
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, yes, I do. She's like, you should get this book and read it and start doing it for yourself. And so I did. I bought this book on how to access my own Akashic records.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How to access my own Akashic record.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like how to access the Akashic records. And I've been doing it on and off since October. It sounds crazy, but it's like, it does give me some answers and some insight.
Can you share what the questions?
Of course. So let's see. I don't mind being vulnerable in this way, but Andrew and I were going through a really hard time. And so I was like, all right, this is a question that I need to pose to... It's called, these entities are called your masters, teachers, and your loved ones. So I need to pose this question. like, where are we headed?
Yeah.
Where are we going? Because it feels pretty hard right now. And the answer that I got was just hold on.
Yeah.
You have to hold on. There's more. There's more.
You're in the hardest time.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the hardest part of marriage.
Right. It is.
We have little kids.
We have little kids. We have little time. We have little sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, this answer was like,
at the
okay.
moment, I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Sorry. Anyway, this like master teachers and loved ones are like, listen, hang on. You're in it. We see that you're in it. We see that you're struggling. We hear you, but there is so much more.
Yeah.
It feels like this could be the end. It feels like you could walk away. It feels all of these things are real, what you're feeling, and that's always a choice. But if you just hang on, there's so much more for you and him on the other side. And that was right before I left for my trip to Phoenix to see Sam.
Oh my gosh, great.
And like
that's nice to hear right before you go on a trip.
No. And of course, this could all be like in my head and not real and just sort of like my own psyche working things out. Sure.
But that's good.
But
I mean, then you landed on something that you felt confident in.
Right.
Like I have an answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to be truly honest, it didn't feel like it came from me because I wasn't feeling this way.
Yeah.
But it inspired like a real drop of hope that I was like, oh, okay, I have faith. And I held on, and it literally did just open up this opportunity for he and I to connect in a way that we hadn't before. It allowed him to learn some lessons. It allowed me to learn some lessons. It like our whole communication and dynamic shifted. And I know that if I walked into that weekend away with this feeling of defeat,
right,
it would have gone a totally different way. And I didn't want that.
How did you ask and get that answer? Just like meditating and quiet time?
That's a great question. So the way that you like say this, you do a meditation to ground yourself, and you say this prayer, what this author calls it, a prayer. And this is like very woo-woo stuff. So
okay,
like,
yeah.
It opens up a chakra above your head. So there's a theory of like, I think like 12 chakras, and chakras are energy centers in the physical body. And then there is a theory that there are 4 outside of the body.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is opening your 8th one, which is like 18 inches above your head.
Okay.
And it is ground yourself in a meditation. You say this opening prayer, and theoretically it elicits this very light, subtle form of vibration that opens up this 8th chakra and like shifts your consciousness. So this is different from your intuition or your inner voice, different from your subconscious.
It invites something new in.
It's like you have left the finite and imperfect human consciousness and literally entered into this space of perfect consciousness. This book says to like at first just hang out there. Don't push or pull, just like sit in it. And so I did that for my first, I guess, couple of visits, right? Again, it sounds so weird. And it kind of reminded me of like in Fourth Wing when Violet enters her archives.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This like space in her mind, right? And so it was like a space in my mind that I would figuratively sit in. And then this book guides you into like how to ask questions, how to unpack a problem. And in this instance, my example is like, all right, let me lay out what I've been struggling with on my side, because obviously I can't speak for 2 people, but here's what I'm struggling with. Here's the story. And now I need help. And you just kind of wait and you hear these answers. It's not like you talking to me across from a chair, a chair across from me, just like having a conversation. It's more like opening a book and reading an answer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so incredible that you got that from the book club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
and
a
then,
great thing.
yeah, it kind of changed the whole course of.
Yeah. It just gave me another tool in my toolbox because I am a woo-woo person, as you know, like with Reiki and my candle gazing meditation and my journaling, and now this.
I love it's all very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to like say I'm losing anyone. I think we're all a little woo-woo at this point.
It's true. It's true. I mean, yeah, you like the astrology of it all and the crazy moons that we've been having. Have we always been having things like a super blue blood moon or like a harvest strawberry like full
The universe
moon?
is marketing to us.
Yeah, seriously. Like what? Anyway.
You know what I had a thought today that I really
tell me.
This is like way off base, but
No.
were you the one who told me about the salt therapy or going into like a salt spa kind of thing?
In Exeter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we ever? I don't know if it was
we
you.
talked specifically about the Exeter one?
I think so.
Like you had been there?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking today how I want to do that with you. Like specifically, I feel like we should do that.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like you would be like the person to do it with. And then I also had an idea that I feel like we should open one here.
How cool would that be?
We should do hot yoga and salt.
Oh my gosh. I have so many ideas.
I know you really do.
I have too many ideas. And I know I've been like trying to pull you into one of my Reiki sessions like forever, but I just feel like, yeah, like there is, we all have to slow down, you know, and like be gentle on ourselves. And whether it is tuning into the inner voice, whether it is accessing your Akashic records, whether it is doing a chakra yoga class, whether it's whatever it is, you know, like there is something about turning off the brain and turning on the soul. This is who I am. I am a weird, sensual, artistic, entrepreneurial person.
Yes. That's a great kind of person to
and
be.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. and we're still like young moms.
Yes,
like,
we are.
We have a lot of time to figure it out. There's a lot coming up. Like when you were saying hold on with Andrew, like, oh my God, Dave and I talk about all the time, like vacations we plan to take in 10 years. And it's like kind of a big topic in our lives.
I love that you guys do that because being with Andrew has very much forced me into the present moment. Just the way that his brain works. It doesn't calculate for him to be like, okay, so in 10 years, this is what we're going to do. He's like, tomorrow, here's the plan. And I totally get that. And he is the anchor that I've always needed because otherwise I would be planning trips that are 15 years down the road. And I would be dreaming of all of these things, but not necessarily living my life in the here and now.
Oh, yeah.
And he would have been the opposite. He would have just like had his head down looking forward 6 inches in front of his face the whole time and not thinking of where can I go from here? How can I make my life bigger? So we're definitely, we balance each other out.
Yeah, very important to both. Like you need both of you. Yeah.
But I love that you and Dave plan these trips 10 years down the road. Like I want to get there with him at some point.
That's what we have to look forward to.
Yeah,
like this time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like we're spending our weekends at an indoor playground where we can't speak to each other. We can just kind of lean against the wall in silence.
Or like look at each other awkwardly. I'm like, why do I feel so awkward with my friend? It's like, yes, once you named it of like, because if we actually tried to have a conversation, it would just be interrupted 2 seconds in.
Yeah, you're trying to think of like, what can I tell her right now that she can answer really quickly because our children are bouncing in front of our faces.
Literally, and could run out at any second and be like, now I want to go over here. That's like 300 feet away. And it's like, oh, right. Okay,
goodbye.
Bye.
Like, I felt so rude like walking away, but it's like, that's what we're doing.
Exactly. This is the life that we're in. And thank goodness for people like you who I can sit down and have like a real grown-up conversation with after bedtime, but also go to a play park and like kind of look at each other like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
Okay.
It was funny when I was like asking you what you were doing in the afternoon. You were like, "What? Like this? Like
I don't even
nothing?"
know.
Like it's like, yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna like pace around the living room.
Seriously. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you, like, Bo did nap, which was
Oh,
wonderful.
great. That's great.
But, like, how is it that the hours from, like, 3 to 6 take 5 million hours?
I know. They're the hardest ones. It's so hard. We're interviewing nannies, and that's what I keep
Yes.
telling everyone. It's like, okay, so this is like a pretty easy job. Mostly it's the baby. And then
Yeah. From 3 to 6, this is
very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard time of day.
right. But I have a feeling that these people who are nannies or, like, people who come into the situation where they get, like, and have always gotten 8 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep or whatever, and,
Yeah, it's fine for them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're fresh.
Yes. I think 3 to 6 is, like, doable.
Yeah, because then they're like, goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm going home to like make my own dinner, go out, do whatever I want.
Take a yoga class, meditate, lay naked in bed, and think about nothing but myself.
Exactly.
Like, great. So happy for you. But genuinely, so happy for you. It brings me joy to know that other people are able to live their lives in ways that I just can't right now.
I know. I hang on their every word. Like, what are you doing out to dinner?
Yeah.
You're going into the city.
I know we didn't get to talk about it, but it's like, yes, I spent an afternoon shopping with Liz.
Yeah. I know. Like, if you think about anyone who doesn't have kids listening to this being like, well, they like shopping.
Like, no, girl, it's just, I haven't.
Haven't for months and months and months.
Yeah, years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
With your friend in Seattle.
Uh-huh. We bought matching sunglasses.
It was a day. A day to remember.
We went to the Nordstrom Cafe.
Oh. That really came out.
That was genuine. Oh,
Right.
I can't tell you, Emma, we walked into the Nordstrom Cafe and I reached for her hand and I was like, Liz, I have not been here probably since 2017. Like,
yeah. The year. 2017. What a year that was.
That was a great year. That was a great year. And she was like, what? She's someone who, I mean, life is busy. She has a 1-year-old, but she has still been able to hang on to certain parts of her life because she only has one,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One who's not moving that fast
Oh,
yet.
Yeah. And still takes like 2 naps a day. And, yeah, and just different. It's just so different. And then, like, Emma, in 5 years, we're going to be like, so.
I know.
Lunch,
Yeah.
Let's just go out somewhere.
I know the whole neighborhood sending their kids off to kindergarten, and then you get the huge raise.
Crazy.
We're not going to be paying.
Woohoo! Giving myself a raise.
There will be signs that daycare's over.
I know. So I don't know if I've told you this, but we are teaching our oldest one a lot more sign language because he can speak in a more regulated way when he can also sign.
That's so cute.
And we taught him signing as a baby, and he would sign like milk and more and please and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now we're doing like emotions, and it's like a game changer. Like, he will sign sorry.
Wow.
But he won't say it. It's like, he is my child. His vulnerability and his emotion are like right next door, and they struggle to coexist.
How'd you get that idea?
He has at his preschool, his teacher signs. I don't know I think she's hard of hearing and maybe has a family member who is deaf, and so she's taught them songs in sign language, and she has a book of different signs, and when they do their animal song, and they also learn it in sign language, and like, he has such an affinity to it that I was like, oh, it's right here. It's right here. The answer's right here. If I just give him a physical expression, I think he feels like he has more choices.
That's amazing. Yeah, because Kenzie's school has sign, and she likes it. Like, she'll come home and be like, this means this, or like, she loves doing it, but it's not part of her like communication. That wow, that is so special that he is like leaning into it so much.
Right. Yeah, like he was more like showing kind of like what Ken's was doing, like this is, A, B, C,
Yeah,
D,
yeah.
and like this is elephant and all that stuff. But something clicked where I was like, this is just another form of vocabulary for him. And I know that it's working because today he was like, Mommy, I feel, and like he signed frustrated and angry.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. Or like if he is feeling good, I'll sign and say like, are you happy? And he's like, yes. He like signs yes and signs back, I'm happy. And he can now say it. So it's like, great.
That's so cute. It's like your own special language with him. I'm like, oh.
Andrew's super excited. He's like, it's like we have a code.
Right.
Like, it's not a code. It's a whole other language. But yes.
But no, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
like
kind
for
of like,
us.
Yeah, family kind of language.
Yeah. It makes me want to reach out in our community because I know I've seen deaf community members around like at the post office and I'm like, oh, I want to talk to them. I feel this desire to talk to them and hopefully they don't feel alone, but it's got to feel lonely to not have one of your senses. Is there something that you could say is other than being a mother, other than like this added identity, is there something that you feel is new about you since becoming a mom? Have you discovered something new about yourself?
I mean, I think it's like my capability of doing hard things. I'm okay. Like,
yeah, right.
We can do hard things.
Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah.
I would agree that like our capacity has increased by, I don't know how much, but a lot.
And we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying today with Dave, we were having dinner with the baby and our 3-year-old. And I remember before baby was born, I was saying like, I don't know how we're going to have dinner. Like, how is the 3 to 5, 3 to 6 time going to work? How is bedtime going to work? It just seems it was so out of reach for me. And I had no concept of it. And I thought it'd be so hard. And I remember I was actually thinking about you. And I remember going to your house when Bo was sitting up. So I was actually going to look at the picture. But he was sitting up and Julian came over and like gave him a big hug. And Kenzie was like, Bo, like her favorite person in the world. Yeah. And like you were doing it. And I was so like, I don't know how she's doing this.
Right.
you know?
Just do it.
Yeah. And and we were having dinner and, it was very chill and cute and fun. And we were doing it, and it might be because we have an easy baby or because, we learned.
Just have to.
Yeah, and we got there. Yeah, and like, great job, me and Dave and everyone and, all the parents who like,
right.
Because it's a lot of like behind the scenes silent work that a lot of people, like society, I don't think really sees the effort that goes into being a parent every day.
Seriously. Or people forget. People who are parents to now older children or adult children, they forget. And it's not even behind the scenes. It's like concurrently happening.
With your full-time job.
Right. Or just, I remember sitting at dinner at Andrew's grandparents' house one time. And like, this was when we were the only ones with kids. My sister-in-law was still pregnant. And like, Julian was behind me in the chair with his arms around my shoulders, and Bo was sitting on my lap, and I was eating and feeding Bo and giving Julian whatever all at the same time. And Andrew's grandfather was like, oh, poor Veronica, she's so tired or she's doing so much. And I just was like, so floored that somebody noticed. But of course it was going to take like an 80-year-old man who was a father to 4 and a grandfather to 9 and a great-grandfather to 5 to be like, I see you. And no one else was like, can I help you?
Untangle this child from your neck.
Yeah, no one being like, hey, why don't you sit next to mommy so that she can eat her meal in peace? But the fact that my husband's grandfather was like, oh, like just that empathetic reach, this moment of compassion. I was like, somebody sees me. But I wasn't even looking for it, right? I was just like, all right, this is my life. It's fine. I'm eating something. It's made me try to be more conscious of just making sure I see other people.
Yeah.
Too.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't see parents before this.
No, God, I was such an asshole.
No.
I wish I had known.
Yeah.
And it's hard as a mother to be like, to tell somebody who isn't someone who has a child or a family, to be like, help me. What's wrong with you? Like, get off your ass and help me. So I understand why nobody else was like, Veronica, do something, right? It's just a hard thing to ask. And so, yeah, hopefully I can raise my kids to notice. Just notice that someone is struggling. Consider something outside of yourself and ask how you can help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
New about me?
Mm-hmm.
I never thought that I loved babies. I loved the idea of being a mom, but I was actually terrified of, like, I didn't know if I knew how to play, because I didn't grow up with parents who were playful, or my dad was, but my mom was not. And it was a hard juxtaposition. And so I was terrified of being a mother who was like boring. And now I realize, like, it's so easy to play with children. It's so easy to engage with them. And I don't know if you would count that as new, but it has like pleasantly surprised me that I can do that.
I wonder if that's like another one of the reasons that you're like drawn to Andrew, because I feel like he is a very playful.
So playful.
He's a playful parent. He's a playful person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's kind of just like part of his whole vibe. Like today with Mackenzie, when he like got her right away, I don't know. He was like talking to her and she like loved it. Like, like he had the jokes that a 3-year-old would like.
Pied Piper. He is totally, yes. And that's another part of why I wanted this year to be joy, because he not constantly, but frequently his bids in our marriage are attempts to play with me. And I'm always like, ugh, God, can you just be serious? Can you? And I think to myself, like, no, play, be playful. And maybe by December, I'll have been able to tap into it more.
Yeah. And like, I would say tap into it more, but don't feel like you need to be at his level.
Oh gosh, I'm never going to be.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Thank you for saying that out loud, though. Yes. I don't want to judge myself for not being able to be a big kid all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like one New Year's we were talking and it was like, we don't need resolutions. We're doing good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like we could like add more good, but like you don't have to feel like you have to, you're bad now.
Change.
Yeah, and you have to change everything and hit this like magical mark.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Very good. I like these questions. This was a fun one.
This was fun. Talking a little bit about everything.
I'm going to read Onyx Storm.
Yes, I'm so excited for you.
I'm going to finish it.
Okay.
At some point.
Take your time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the fact that I took my time this time. I didn't like gulp it up. I took little sips. And thank you all, whoever is here listening to us. Is there any other parting thoughts?
Well, you can always find us on Instagram, ShadowBabiesPod, or email us at shadowbabiespodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you if you have any ideas for episodes. We're all yours.
Or, if you are a mother and you found yourself in the romantasy genre and you resonate with anything that we've said here, like, we want to talk about this too.
Yeah, we want to hear it.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. February 1st.
February 1st. Lunar New Year too. We'll count that.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
The year of the snake.
Ooh.
Which is my year. I don't know.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are you?
I forget.
Okay.
I'm not the snake though.
You're 87. You are, I think you're the rabbit.
Yes, I am.
Happy New Year. May all of your intentions come to some fruition. And
we'll do an update at the end of the year.
That would be great.
Look back.
Yeah, I'd love that.
It's actually nice that we like record this.
I like it too. And have a real conversation. So thank you, Emma, and thank you to our lovely listeners who are here.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.